Hey, you filthy animals, it's James again. So something I found out about training is that it's not how you say completely standardized. I mean, USPPA puts out a syllabus on subjects that should be covered, but how those subjects are covered, at what pace the lessons take place, is all up in the air. So the training regimen can really vary from one experience to another. You see, the thing about an instructor is his or her reputation's on the line when they give their seal of approval to a student. So it's in their best interest to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing before they let you go off onto your own. Because if you end up biting it, everybody's going to point the finger at the instructor because obviously he must have done something wrong. Now, that's not to say that that's my feeling or that that's a fair assessment, but it is likely to happen. So when your instructor signs you off, they're basically vouching for you. They're vouching that A, you're going to be safe in the air, and B, you're not going to cause a negative impact to the sport by flying near congested areas or over people's houses or in restricted areas. The instructor's credibility is on the line. So out of respect for my instructor, if he says it's not time to go, it's not time to leave the nest, then I'm gonna believe that. He's not making any more money. There's nothing in it for him except for his reputation. But the bottom line is your trainer's vouching for you. So they're going to want to make sure they're turning out a quality student. I see a lot of people on the Facebook Paramotor group asking, hey, I live out in Johnsonville, Texas, and I'm looking for an instructor. Anybody recommend an instructor in the area? The best way to find a good instructor is to consult the USPPA's website. They have an instructor locator tool that tells you, you enter a geographic area and it tells you what instructors are in that area. You really can't go too wrong as long as you're getting somebody with the proper certifications. Another thing that people often ask is how much should my training be? Is $2,500 reasonable? Is $3,000 reasonable? While I'm not an expert in the area, I can say from my own research that $1,500 is going to be the bare minimum, and that's usually if you're going to buy gear through the dealer so that they can get their distributor percentage or whatever it is. Without purchasing gear, I've seen $2,500 seems to be about the standard rate if you're not going to buy gear from your instructor. And then I think it's kind of a grayscale. It's a gradient between there. If you're going to use your school's or your instructor's gear, that their gear costs money. Their gear is going to break. You're putting UV exposure on their wings, so they're gonna have to charge you for that depreciation. So maybe that $1,500, if you're using their gear, becomes $16, $17, or $18, depending on how much you're using the gear. I tell you what, if you're self-instructing to save $1,000 or whatever, then the sport's not for you because you're gonna spend $1,000 in broken shit. You're gonna spend $1,000 in broken stuff when you go through instruction. At least if you have the instructor there, they can give you advice and help you out and procure parts and help repair things. So really, you're making your money back right there. I personally recommend buying your gear relatively soon into your training. I think once you get a feel for practicing on a wing or whatever, and you know whether or not this sport's for you, the sooner you buy, the better off everybody is. Your instructor's not going to have to charge you for the gear rental. You're going to be able to practice on your time because that was one thing. You can't kite enough. Once you get your own wing, you only have to work around your schedule. So the opportunities for training become much more available, and your skills increase that much sooner. And really, you're going to save money in the long run. So tonight we're supposed to have good weather. Should be able to get 3 good flights in. Let's see, we're going to work on oscillations a bit. Probably work on a low and slow flight. Since my last video, we actually did a cross country. Scott, Bill, and I all went on a 11-mile one-way journey, 22-mile round-trip journey out to an airfield. We didn't land because we were running out of time, but we saw some new scenery. That was nice to get out of the box, see some things, learn some things. I actually flew downwind of a power plant in the cooling towers. I felt the turbulence from the cooling tower, so that was kind of neat and lesson learned there. The footage from my cross-country flight wasn't very good. I had the radio antenna in
I came out here and did my introductory lesson with you in February, but that wasn't what I had on film there. That was from a later session in March or something.
Okay. So what do you mean? You made it...
Just reminding you I've been out here, coming out here for 7 months, that's all.
Say it again?
Just reminding you I've been out here for 7 months.
Okay.
So,
Good or bad?
neither. I haven't fallen down a single time.
That's worth a cookie or trophy?
I'm just wondering how many of your students don't fall down at least once.
I would say maybe about 60% fall down. Some once, some more.
Usually on their first flight, or?
No, some do it sporadic. Some will have like 3, and some will have 1, some will have none.
Well, I'm due. I mean, it's not like people go through this sport not falling down.
No.
You ready?
Yep.
I think I might forward because it's kind of...
Whatever you notice from hand kiting.
Pardon?
That's why you hand kite, is so you can tell.
Yes.
Yep.
Hope all this garbage doesn't get in my way. I mean, people see that training video, they're going to see what a quality job you did, right?
Yeah,
If James falls out of the sky, they're not going to say, Bill didn't do his due diligence. Bill just, he's churning them out over there at Wisconsin PPG.
Yeah, turning them out like crazy.
Churning them out. It's all about the money.
Yep. Quality.
They'll be Dell, Kurt, and Bill.
Sure.
Radio only. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Número 7. Clear prop.